Hi everyone. Today we've got Kate Strickland from Marshall White Real Estate to help us out with some tips and some pointers on what to do when selling your home to get the best possible outcome. Hi Kate, how are you going?
Hey Josh, very well. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Kate, a couple of questions come to mind when looking to sell property. Should I improve my property or renovate it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I always say when you go to sell your home, start with the end in mind, that's for sure. So think about who's going to sell the property, what you're wanting to achieve out of the sale process. But I also caution people to go and do renovations before they sell.
Right.
Definitely have an agent come through and give you advice on who that buyer will be. Once you work out if there's someone buying for the home or the land, you may go and invest money into it that ends up being a waste. I say to people, you'd hate to drive past 6 months later and someone's knocking your house down or they're painting it pink and you've spent all this time painting it white. But mind you, the three cheapest investments for biggest return are paint, gardens and furniture.
Okay.
So we all watch the block. Sometimes the homes aren't necessarily the best homes, but they do the cosmetics really well.
Right.
So a lick of paint, styling in the right places to scale the furniture in the right positions through the home, and also gardens, you only get one chance at a first impression. So your facade of your home and your entrance are really important factors when selling.
Right, okay. Well, what about time of the year? You always hear about sell your property in spring. Does that really matter?
So I work on a supply and demand understanding. So I always say that stock might increase in spring, so more homes come on the market because everyone says my garden looks beautiful in spring, my pool's glistening in the spring, but I also say that buyers don't increase at that same relativity. So you've got to be really careful to just flood the market with stock in spring. The best rule of thumb is sell when you're ready. Sell when you're ready to let the home go, sell when you're ready to move on to the next chapter of your life.
Okay.
When you're ready to disconnect, it's sort of like dating, like you've got to be available to the market before people come to you. So if you're not available, then people won't feel that connection and energy and they won't fall in love with your property. So when you're ready, call your agent, start the process and go to market. There's no perfect time of year to sell or buy.
Makes sense. And I guess then it comes to the method of selling. There's private sale, auction, off market. Is there any one method that's best?
It's the same thing in that respect. Some people think selling as a private sale is cheaper, or they try to save themselves the cost in selling off market. My caution to that is you may save yourself 10 or 15,000 in marketing your home and actually promoting it to the public, but you might cost yourself 80 to 150,000 in your outcome because you've missed a buyer that you could have attracted that the agent doesn't know.
Okay.
So you've got to be really careful with off market. Sometimes unique properties or homes that just have one specific buyer are okay to sell in that respect. Or at the top of the price pyramid. If you're speaking 7, 8, 9, 10 million or above, often selling off market is a good match because you're not just going to market and find a buyer. Those buyers don't just come out of thin air.
Right.
For most other homes, I would suggest going to market properly, sending a message, put your board up, you're on the market for sale and you're serious and you're motivated. And then the buyers will come forth with that same attitude. I like auctions because they give you an end date. So buyers and human beings like to operate within deadlines. Private sales days on market is often a lot longer than auctions.
Okay.
So they can be 120 to 150 days on average. Auctions are sold within 30 days. So if you're looking for the highest possible price in the lowest amount of time, auction in Melbourne has always been the way to go. If people were looking for different ways to sell and trying to get creative with it, I think just stick to the main methods that are there. And I think if you're selling in the higher socioeconomic areas or the money belt of Melbourne, I'd definitely be sticking to an auction campaign and have confidence that it will bring you the right outcome.
I guess then, which leads me to our next question. We aren't experts. You're the expert. What makes a good real estate agent, and who should we choose, and how do we choose who to go with?
So often people just say, go with the person you like or go with the person you trust. I say if people like you, they'll listen. If they trust you, they'll do business with you. So you have to build trust and rapport, have that relationship. You need to know that agent's the last line of defense for you. They're the ones having the conversations and negotiations with your biggest asset in most cases. So definitely being able to trust they've got the skills and expertise time in the industry
Yep.
to weather the storms. You know, it's an emotional roller coaster. You need
Absolutely.
people with experience that are going to be able to lead those conversations. But strategy is really important.
Yep.
You know, if you just want to put a board up out the front, stick it online and use hope as a strategy, sell it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I say to my clients, save the money, just sell it yourself.
Yep.
But if you want someone that's got strategies and methods, that's got a database of buyers that are selling relevant properties in those price ranges that are connecting with your buyer profile,
Yep.
that's really important because you want to start the car on the hill.
Yes.
You don't want to be starting it uphill going, they're starting from scratch.
Yep.
So you've got the car, it's ready to start because they've got buyers, they've sold homes that are similar in the area. And they'll connect in with that clientele. That's really, really important. And the brand is important too. You know, people want to trust the brand and the family that they're working within,
Yep.
know that they've got experienced and trustworthy people on their front line. So, you know, having that trust and feeling like you're coming into a nice pool of buyers and agents that can represent you, you only get that one shot at it. So you've got to make the right decision. Have your questions outlined, know what you're asking. Don't let the agent necessarily guide the process.
Yep.
You know, drive them and challenge them on their method of sale, their strategy of sale, selling before auction, communication strategy, you know, advice on how to get the home ready for sale. You know, they're pitching for your business,
Yeah,
make them
sure.
work for it.
Thanks a lot, Kate. That's really great information and a lot of really, really helpful hints.